Hello S. Rajan. Greetings from Prerna Engineering College, Navi Mumbai. The title of our project is Wonder Glove, a communication device for the deafblind people. Our team includes Saurabh Matre, myself, Swanand Valami, Hitesh Taneja, and Mayank Singh under the guidance of Professor Virendra Kohli. For understanding of our project, we should first know the difficulties faced by the hearing and visually impaired. People with such disabilities hardly have any direct communication with the common people. Also, they are always in a need of a translator for communication with the whole world. The glove, which is a wearable and portable device, translates the hand-touch alphabet called log into text and vice versa. Log is a common type of communication for the deafblind people. Thus, we present a hardware prototype for the same, which would provide us with many advantages. One-to-one and many-to-one communication with the deafblind people can be achieved. Thus, the Wonder Glove functions as a simultaneous translator, making communication with the people without the knowledge of law possible. As a result, it empowers the deaf and blind to engage with a wider spectrum of people, thus enhancing their social independence. The further part of the project would be explained by my friend Mayank Singh.
Has already introduced the word norm. Let's get into the detail of few languages that we basically use to communicate between the deaf and the blind. The first one being the American Sign Language, the second one being the figure braille, and the third one being the long. In case of American Sign Language, we basically use both our hands. For example, if you want to convey a letter G to a person, you have to use your first hand and then the fist of the second hand is used to denote the word G. In case of finger breaking, you have to use your first hand and you have to use the four fingers of your second hand, which are placed onto the first hand to denote the letter W. But in case of long, you just use your one hand and the index finger, the tip of your index finger is just used to communicate a word or a letter to a person who is deaf and blind. The results from above explanation, we come to conclusion that LOM is the most efficient technique that we use for communication between two or more deaf and blind people. And hence for that purpose, we are using it in our project, the Wonder Glove. Let's now take a quick look at the block diagram of our project. The block diagram of Wonder Glove is as follows. We will be using microcontroller 89S52 in multiprocessor mode. The inputs from circular copper plates would go through microcontroller and into the Bluetooth module, which would be interfaced with microcontroller. From the Bluetooth module, it will go into the mobile device via the app, which would be designed at the cell phone level. From this mobile device, this can be communicated over a long range and the other person will receive this message. Now, from the receiver side, when we are talking about, the message would be received from the mobile device. This will be then given to the Bluetooth module, and from the Bluetooth module, it will then go to the microcontroller. And from microcontroller, you will be getting the outputs to the coin vibrating motors.
Now have a look at the main microcontroller unit of the Wonder Glove. As we can see, there are two microcontroller PCBs connected to each other. These microcontrollers would be used in the multiprocessing mode. Also, there is an LCD display which would be used for testing purposes. This is basically the power supply. A 5-volt supply would be given to the microcontrollers and a 3.3 volt supply would be used for the Bluetooth module. This is the combined interfacing unit of the Wonder Glove. For the input interfacing unit, we have an array of 19 transistors which would amplify the signal from the circular copper pads before going to the microcontroller. This is the output interfacing unit. These are the two motor driver ICs which would give a specific voltage of 3.3 volts required to drive the motors.
Now I would like to explain how we are practically implementing the glove. As we can see, there are 19 sensors on the palm and 16 sensors on the back. In total, we have 35 sensors. This is one of the reasons why we are preferring the multiprocessing mode. I would like to focus on the input side first. On the input side, there are 19 sensors, out of which 16 are used to implement the LOM alphabets, while the rest of 3 are for control unit. This one is for space, while other one is for sending the message. The fingertips of the five fingers correspond to five vowels like A, E, I, O, U, while the rest of the sensors are used in various patterns to implement the LOM alphabets. Index finger of the other hand would be given a 5 volt DC supply. When this finger touches one of the plate, when this finger touches one of the plate, the voltage would be generated and MUPI would detect this voltage. This voltage would be given from the interfacing unit where we have attached a transistor to amplify so that MUPI can detect this. This kind of process would take place for each time a port is touched. Now on the output side we have 16 vibrating motors. 16 vibrating motors will vibrate according to the pattern of the alphabets. Motors vibrate simultaneously and delay is kept such that a vibrotactile feedback is generated. 16 vibrating motors is one of the reasons why we are using multiprocessing mode, because we need the PWM pins to accurately and precisely control the motors.
Go.
Suppose the blind person initiates the communication and he touches the copper plate 1. Then the microcontroller will wait for the 400 milliseconds for the next input. Now suppose if in the given time frame the user touches the copper plate 6, then T letter will be sent, else A letter will be sent. Now this process is repeated for the complete message. Now when the complete message is typed, the microcontroller will send this message via Bluetooth to the mobile phone. Now the mobile phone will send this message to the concerned receiver using the corresponding messaging app.
Go.
When the message is received, the mobile transfers the message to the MUSI using the Bluetooth, and the corresponding vibrating pattern is generated. To simulate the sensation of the continuous movement with the discrete actuators, the human phenomena called the funneling illusion is applied. The funneling illusion is implemented using the cross fading from one motor to another by continuously changing their intensity in the opposite ways. Hence the message seems to be continuous, and hence our aim is completed.
This is the complete joint circuit of the Wonder Glove. This is the input side consisting of copper pads, and this is the output side consisting of coil vibration motors. We have pre-programmed the microcontroller to vibrate the pattern of the word Terna, that is TERNA, on these vibrating motors. So let's have a look at the vibration of the motors. For T, the motors on the thumb vibrate. For E, the tip of the index finger. For R, all the 6 motors. For N, these 2 motors. And finally for A, tip of the thumb.